Lately, I've been asking myself a question that I am almost too embarrassed to admit. How can somebody want something so badly and still not do it? Because if I'm being honest, I've spent years doing exactly that. Years. I wanted to take YouTube seriously. I wanted to buy my first investment property. I wanted to get back into the gym. And here's the weird part. I wasn't doing nothing. I was busy, really busy, researching, planning, learning, watching videos, making spreadsheets, making plans for the plans. You ever notice how sometimes you can spend so much time preparing for life that you accidentally forget to live it? That realization hit me harder than I expected, because for years, I thought progress and preparation were the same thing. They're not. One moves you forward. The other makes you feel like you're moving forward. Big difference. And by the end of this conversation, I'd like to share a realization that completely changed how I look at goals, motivation, and why I think so many good people get stuck, even when they genuinely want a better life. The thing that started this whole video. You know something that bothers me? I don't really know my great-grandparents. Don't know what they sounded like. I don't know what made them laugh. I don't know what challenges they faced. I don't know what kept them going when things got hard. And when I stop and think about it, it's kind of strange, because their decisions shape my entire existence. Yet, I know more about YouTubers than I know about them. Think about it. Somewhere along the way, their stories disappeared. And maybe that's normal, but it still feels a little sad, because without them, I wouldn't be here. And that's actually one of the reasons I've decided to take YouTube seriously. Not because I think I'm fascinating. Trust me, most days are pretty ordinary. Go to work, hang out with my wife, play with my boys, try not to pull a muscle while tying my shoes. Apparently, that's becoming a thing now. But maybe ordinary lives matter too. Maybe one day one of my grandkids or great-grandkids finds one of these videos, and maybe they hear what life was actually like. Maybe they realize Grandpa Elo overthought everything too. Because honestly, that might be the most accurate family heirloom I leave behind. And maybe somebody watching this right now needed to hear that too. Because one thing that I've noticed are struggles feel incredibly personal until someone else finally says them out loud. The trap I kept falling into. One thing I've noticed about myself is that I'm really good at preparing. Maybe too good. I can research something into another dimension. I'll watch videos, read articles, compare options, create spreadsheets, then create improved spreadsheets. Then convince myself I need one more spreadsheet before making a decision. At some point, you're not researching anymore. You're decorating your procrastination. And to be honest, I don't think I was doing this to be lazy. I think I was doing it because preparation feels safe. When you're researching, you can't fail. And when you're planning, you can't fail. When you're organizing, you can't fail. The moment you actually start, that's when things get real. That's when mistakes happen. That's when people might judge you. That's when you discover whether you're as good as you hoped. And maybe that's why so many smart people get stuck. Not because they don't think enough, maybe because they think too much. I know I do. If overthinking burned calories, I'd probably look like an action figure by now. The investment property wake-up call. A perfect example is real estate. I've been telling myself for years that I want to buy my first investment property. Years. And when I say years, I mean long enough that Zillow probably says we're in a committed relationship. For the longest time, I had reasons. The market, the timing, interest rates, the economy. The perfect deal wasn't here yet. And to be fair, some of those concerns were legitimate. But eventually, I had to admit something uncomfortable. Nobody was stopping me. Not the market. Not other investors. Not timing. Just me. I was the one standing in my own way. And that's not a fun realization. But it's a powerful one. Because once you stop blaming everything else, you finally get your power back. I've noticed something about someday. A lot of dreams quietly retire there. Not because they failed, because they kept getting postponed. Can I ask you a small favor? If something in this video made you stop and think, or maybe you've caught yourself saying, man, that's exactly what I've been doing, would you mind tapping that like button? It helps YouTube show this video to more people who might be feeling stuck or overwhelmed the same way. And if you're into conversations like this, where we're all just trying to become a little bit better without pretending we've got life completely figured out, I'd love you to join us. Consider subscribing to the Elo Sanchez YouTube channel. My goal is to post a new video every single week. And hopefully each one of you leaves with at least one idea that makes life a little bit better. All right, let's keep going. Something interesting I learned. I've been reading about why this happens. And from what I've learned, our brains seem to really like certainty. predictable things, familiar things, safe things. And I wonder if sometimes our brains treat discomfort and danger like they're cousins. Starting a YouTube channel? Discomfort. Buying an investment property? Discomfort. Going after a dream? Discomfort. Putting yourself out there? Discomfort. And your brain says, maybe let's think about this a little longer. Then a little longer becomes 6 months. Then 6 months becomes 5 years. Then one day you're wondering where all that time went. That's a scary thought. Not because time moves fast, because it moves fast quietly. The lesson the gym taught me. The funny thing is, I think life already taught me the answer. I just learned it in the gym. When I was younger, I thought everything was about intensity. Go harder, push harder, train harder. If a little effort was good, then maximum effort was better, right? That sounds reasonable. Until your body files for a formal complaint. Life humbled me. Surgeries, setbacks, pain. A lot of realizing I wasn't indestructible, as I thought I was. And looking back now, those setbacks taught me something I never would have learned otherwise. When I was younger, I thought maturity meant learning to push harder. Now, I think maturity is often knowing when not to. Today, my workouts look completely different. Tiny improvements, small increases, baby steps. A little more than last time. Nothing dramatic. Nothing really exciting. And ironically, that's what finally made me consistent. Not motivation, not intensity. Consistency. Life is a marathon, not a sprint. I've heard that phrase for years, but I don't think I understood it until life forced me to. The realization that changed everything. And lately, I've been wondering if that lesson applies to almost everything. Maybe we're trying to sprint through goals that were meant to be walked. Maybe we're waiting to feel ready, waiting for motivation, waiting for certainty, waiting for the perfect plan. But maybe the answer is smaller than that. Maybe the answer is just movement, tiny movement, one step, then another. Because I've started realizing that most dreams don't die from failure. They die from postponement. And maybe the goal isn't becoming a completely different person tomorrow. Maybe the goal is becoming slightly better today, then repeating it again and again and again. If you're watching this and you're part of my family 100 years from now, I hope you understand something that took me a long time to learn. You have to enjoy what you do. You really do. Because life isn't made up of achievements. It's made up of days. Ordinary days. The days between the milestones. I genuinely enjoy working on these videos. I genuinely enjoy sweating at the gym. I genuinely enjoy learning new things. I genuinely enjoy becoming a little bit better than I was yesterday. And I'm starting to think that that's where life actually happens. Not at the finish line. Not after you achieve the goal. But while you're working toward it. Find something that inspires you. Find something that makes you excited to get out of bed. Find something that makes you lose track of time. And go for it. Not because success is guaranteed, but because that's what makes life interesting. Maybe you're not lazy. Maybe you're overwhelmed. Maybe you're just overthinking. Maybe you've been trying to sprint through a marathon. I know I have. Take one small step, then another. And before you know it, you might look back and realize you've come farther than you thought possible. Maybe you've noticed it too. And maybe not. I'm Milo Sanchez, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.